number is this? I'm not stepping on your toes, Jackie. Was this your part? Number 6, thank you. Okay, our agenda for the evening is the tutoring update, a translator certification, a trip to Spain with Miss Leticia Hilton, Miriam Zarate for our translators, Maravillas with, I think this was with Patricia Thetford, and library resources. Okay, and Esther, I think that
Ashley, did we lose Ashley? I'm really sorry, I cannot see anyone when I'm presenting.
I think we did. This is Jackie
Okay.
speaking. Yeah.
Okay, so Jackie, would you like, and Allison, I don't know if Allison is on, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes, of course. Hi, my name is Jackie, and I am the vice president. And the person that you seen speaking was Ashley, and she's the president.
Eva, can you stop for a minute? And sorry, I'm Allison. I had to tell my little girl to stop playing piano for a minute, but nice to meet you. Hopefully Ashley will be back with us. I am just the Somos DLI secretary, so thanks for joining us.
Thank you both. We will continue. I am Esther Garcia. I'm the coordinator for English Learners Services, TK-12, and for our DLI program.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Thetford. I am the TOSA for the Dual Language Immersion Program, kindergarten through 11th grade. Buenas noches. Soy la maestra de asignación especial del programa de inmersión de lenguaje dual.
Allison or Jackie, would you like to?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Hi, so we just wanted to go over some of our goals here at Somos DLI, which is primarily to provide a resource to DLI families to ensure success, foster communication between school sites, parents, and district, enhance engagement of all stakeholders, encourage ideas and opportunities for students, and develop a roadmap for families. And of course, we are in the beginning stages still, of our group. So we are all ears. Anything direction that this group can take for the betterment of our children, we are here for it.
Thank you. Padres, nosotros somos DLIs. El significado es que somos unidos, ¿no? Con este programa. Los objetivos de Somos DLI es proporcionar recursos a las familias de DLI para garantizar el éxito, fomentar la comunicación entre las escuelas, los padres y el distrito, mejorar la participación de todas las partes interesadas, fomentar ideas y oportunidades para los estudiantes, desarrollar una hoja de ruta para las familias. Y vamos a cambiar el orden de nuestra presentación para que la señora Miriam Zarate Ramírez presente primero y después yo continúo con esta página. Vamos a introducir a la señora Miriam Zarate. Miriam, puede empezar a presentar.
Okay, so hi, my name again is Miriam Zarate Ramirez, and I am part of the Interpreting and Translation Services team. I will go ahead and interpret this at the end of my presentation. The purpose of our services is to provide access to the education system to our families. We are a team of 5 interpreters/translators, and we work with all departments and schools. Some of our duties as translators are translation of communications that go out to RUSC communities, translations of manuals in preparation of the beginning of the school year, and translation of all DLI material. Some of our duties as interpreters are to interpret all RUSD events where interpreting services are requested, interpret parent-teacher meetings such as parent conferences, SSTs, 504s, and IEPs, interpret high-profile cases between the district and parent community, and other duties that we assist in are also provide professional development to all translators at our sites. Hola, mi nombre es Miriam Zárate Ramírez y soy parte del equipo de interpretación y traducción. El propósito de nuestros servicios es para proveer acceso de educación a nuestras familias. Somos un equipo de 5 intérpretes traductoras. Trabajamos con todos los departamentos y las escuelas. Unos de nuestras asignaciones como intérpretes son como traductoras es traducir toda la comunicación a través de la comunidad del distrito de Riverside, traducir los manuales en preparación al comienzo del año escolar y traducir material del programa de DLI. Nuestras asignaciones como intérpretes es interpretar todos los eventos del Distrito Escolar Unificado de Riverside y los servicios que son ordenados, interpretar las juntas o reuniones de padres y maestros, conferencias, las reuniones de 504s y del plan educativo individual de cada estudiante, también casos entre el distrito y la comunidad de padres. Otras de nuestras asignaciones es proveer desarrollo profesional a nuestras escuelas, dándoles servicios de interpretación y traducción para mejorar las destrezas de interpretación y servirle a la comunidad de Riverside. Okay.
Muchas gracias, señora Zárate Ramírez. Padres, ¿tienen alguna pregunta? Thank you very much, Ms. Ramírez. Parents, at this time, do you have any questions for our interpreter / translator? She's both.
I have a question.
Yes. Oh, you're back. Goodness.
I'm back. Sorry, I know. I said I was good at technology. I really mean it. I was wondering about the process that you went through to get from schooling, the completion of schooling, any certification you might have needed, what that looked like before you became a certified translator.
So we actually had a training that I actually started off at a school site, and we got the training from our fellow translators. They are actually certified and give or provide us with the trainings. And then from then on, after a 40-hour completion program, we got a certificate. So we do have to take the test and follow all the entire process in order to be able to be a district translator or site translator. But we also continue our professional development throughout our time as employees or translators, interpreters.
Thank you, Miriam. Can you say that in Spanish now?
Sí, su pregunta de ella fue qué fue la educación o entrenamiento que nos proporcionaron. Yo le comentaba a ella que sí tenemos que asistir a clases que nos proporcionan las compañeras del distrito que están certificadas para darnos los entrenamientos. Tenemos que completar 40 horas. También tenemos que seguir los reglamentos de la solicitud para aplicar y también cuando ya estamos en cada plantel o somos intérpretes traductores del distrito, tenemos que continuar con el desarrollo de aprendizaje que es continuo a través de nuestra estadía como empleados del distrito.
Señora Oropesa, usted alzó su mano. Ms. Oropesa, raised her hand.
Sí, mi pregunta es acerca de si en nuestra escuela necesitamos servicios de interpretación. Si nos puede explicar cómo es el proceso, por favor.
So her question was if our site needs an interpreter or translator, what would be the process? El proceso para poder pedir una intérprete o traductora es típicamente la secretaria, ella va a pedir un intérprete. La mayoría de nuestras escuelas en el distrito tienen un intérprete que es asignado a la escuela. Si es que su escuela no tiene un intérprete en este momento, la secretaria pediría a través de un sistema que usamos internamente, y de ahí se agenda la reunión que usted quiera tener. So the process that we follow is we typically have our site secretaries go ahead and put it in our system, a spreadsheet system. They have to put in their request, whether it's for interpreter or translator. And then from there, we get notified and we get assigned to a site. And this is only if they don't have a site interpreter.
¿Y cómo puedo saber si mi escuela tiene intérprete? ¿A quién, la directora debe de tener esta información o la secretaria de enfrente de la escuela?
Típicamente todo el personal de la oficina sabe si tienen una intérprete, puede contactar a la escuela directamente y le van a poder avisar si tienen intérprete o tienen un asistente de la comunidad que le puede asistir también. So her question was how would she know if her school site has an interpreter? So I was letting her know that typically all office staff knows if there's an interpreter on site, or if they have a community assistant, she can contact the school directly to get that information.
Es todo, muchas gracias.
Sí, señora.
Okay, Ashley, since you're back, it's all yours now.
Would you like to put me in a room so I can continue on?
Yes, I am ready and I'm gonna start it right now.
Thank you, Esther. I would say we should go to the next slide, but I'm not sure if we're further ahead now in our presentation or.
Right. We're going to go back on track now that Mrs. Zarate presented and when she is in the interpreting room. Parents, if you need interpretation, please go to the interpreting room where Mrs. Zarate will be able to assist you by interpreting into Spanish. Padres, si necesitan interpretación, por favor, entren al cuarto de interpretación donde la señora Zarate estará ahí para interpretarles. Gracias. So, Ashley, we're going to start with tutoring, which was our first topic. So I'm going to continue presenting now on that one, if you would like to introduce it.
Yes, so here we are with our tutoring information. Was there anything aside from this slide you'd like me to share, Esther?
No, not at this time. We did introduce our goals as a DLI parent group. Jackie and Allison were very helpful. In the very, very brief time you were gone.
Thank you. It was like a magic trick. I hit a button and I disappeared, but you guys did too. So tutoring, we will have student and teacher recruitment happening. DLI continues to need teacher supervisors, and the program cannot work without the teachers. It also requires 1 to 2 hours per week and practice with Spanish using core content areas such as math, science, history, language arts. And it must not be overwhelming to the tutor. Absolutely, that would be a lot to take on. And we're hoping to begin this the week after Thanksgiving break. Is there any insider information, Esther, you might have on that?
Yes, Patricia and I, mostly Patricia, you know, she does deserve the credit because she's been working so hard on recruitment. I believe we have high school students who are waiting to be processed as tutors. This is our high school tutoring program that was so popular last school year during our school shutdown. The only issue we're having right now is the recruitment of our teachers. We started by recruiting our DLI teachers. However, we have so many after school programs right now running that I know we're extending teachers a little bit thin. And so we're finding it challenging to find teachers who want to work after school during the tutoring hours, because tutors work any time from between 3 o'clock up to 7 o'clock at night. We are tutoring up to 7 o'clock at night. And so that's a little bit taxing on the teacher. So we've been having a little bit of a hard time finding tutors. However, we are this week, we are going to extend our offer and invitation to non-DLI teachers, because our tutoring program, our high school tutoring program cannot work without a teacher supervision, So we are going to extend the invitation to non-DLI teachers, which will give us a much larger group of teachers to tap into. Patricia, did I miss any information?
No, I think you received great information. I know that I have a particular tutor who's going to be working close with me in regards to developing some content areas for the tutors. She was a tutor herself last year, but she's going to be working in a different capacity this year, and she'll be helping me with facilitating the tutors. So it's wonderful.
That's fantastic. And she is also a high school student from our DLI program. So that is fantastic. Parents, any question regarding tutoring?
One of the questions is, what are the joining requirements for teachers?
There's really not a lot of requirements for teachers. We just want the teachers to commit to, one, create a Google site for the tutor, so that the tutor can have their own Google sites. In our USD, our students, anywhere from TK all the way to 12th grade, they are not allowed to create their own Google sites. This is a safety issue, a safety tool that we have implemented in our USD for our students. And so this is why this program will not work without teachers. So that's one requirement, is that the teacher will be willing to create Google sites for their tutor, to stay with the tutor for the duration of the tutoring as a supervisor. We want to make sure that nothing inappropriate happens between our high school tutor and our tutees. We want to make sure that both follow all of our discipline and behavior rules, and the teacher will be there to make sure that occurs. So the teacher really, the job of the teacher is really to create the Google site and to supervise the tutor and the tutee.
And usually the tutor supervisor will, supervise a session between 1 and 2 sessions a week. And usually you will have either 1 or 2 tutors that you will be supervising. And inside the Google Classroom, you'll be actually setting up a Google Classroom. And then we will provide a training session with all teachers. That way they are ready and what's expected to include in that Google Classroom.
Yes, thank you, Patricia, for reminding us. The teacher does not create any lesson plans and does not create any content. All of that is created in our office. And so all we want is the teacher to manage the program with the tutee, which is it's not a lot, but then again, we shouldn't make this a hard work for the teacher who's already worked very hard during the entire day. For overwhelming of our tutors, we do not want to overwhelm our tutors, because we have to keep in mind that they are high school students with a very heavy high school workload, and some of them are even in sports, and so they are already doing above and beyond. So this is why we want to make sure that the tutoring sessions will not be taxing for our students either.
One of the other questions, will the tutorings be virtually only? Yes.
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 All tutoring will be virtual only.
Another question, will there also be tutoring for English content?
At this time, we do not have any English content tutoring. This is the first time and the first request. However, if the need is there, I know that Mrs. Thetford and I will work very hard to make sure that we meet those needs of our DLI students.
Another question, I work for our USD as a substitute. I might be interested in tutoring. Can I be contacted? And who can I contact?
You can go ahead and email Mrs. Thetford and I, and we will do our best to help you out. Okay, if no more questions, we will move on.
Okay,
I had
next
a-
slide, please.
We
I had a
we will
question
answer, we will answer other questions as we move along.
Yeah, we do have a parent who has a question before we move on.
Yes, I just was curious if the kids are referred, or is it something that we can ask to, like, other teachers gonna be referring the students for the tutoring?
The teachers actually provide the information to our high school students, and they volunteer themselves. They sign up to be tutors.
No, I mean, like, so if my son needs tutoring, does it have to be like a referral from the teacher?
Yes, yeah, sorry. Yes, the teachers will help us refer students. So parents, since you are on this line, if you know that your child needs support or extra help with their Spanish language, please make sure you tell your teachers. That way the teacher can place them on the list. They provide us the list, and that's how we select our students. So please, just like with Rosetta Stone, we've been very successful in not signing Rosetta Stone licenses to our DLI students because you make sure you contacted your teachers. So the same thing with tutoring. If you know your child needs to practice that Spanish language, make sure you talk to them so that they can place your child on the tutoring list.
Alrighty. Si hay un padre que necesita interpretación, por favor vaya debajo de la pantalla y busque el mundo y haga clic y elija Spanish, español, para poder entrar al cuarto de interpretación, por favor. Gracias.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the next topic. Esther, this is all you again for the translator certification.
Yes, the translator certificate that we are planning on making sure that our students do receive at the end of the 12th grade, on top of the seal of biliteracy. We started actually working very hard on this one last school year. This year we are continuing to work. So the program will begin in August 2022 at the beginning of our new school year. This is our first DLI group to reach 12th grade, our 11th graders right now. They will be 12th grade next year. We're really excited about this. And they will also be the first group to attain a translator certificate. I want to make sure that I explain the difference between certification and certificate, because our students are scheduled to receive a certificate that will allow them to translate. A certification is a little bit higher and it requires much harder work and training than the certificate. However, the certificate will put your child on the path to earning a certification if they choose to attain the certification as a translator. Some of the options that we looked into were the Moreno Valley Community College, which does offer this program, the translator certificate. However, as you can see, Moreno Valley is not, even though it's not too far, it's not around the corner from our district, and it would require our students to do some traveling or maybe even attend a virtual class. The other option was Riverside County Office of Education. They do have a very robust, already established translator certificate program, and it's within our district. So tapping into their program will not be very difficult. And they are very, very helpful to all of the districts that they work with. So I know that getting a teacher from RCOE will not be difficult. However, because we know that they already have a very robust program for the translator certificate under their CTE, their Career Technical Education. I was in a meeting with RCOE, and they mentioned their translator certificate through their CTE. And I was like, well, if they have one, why can't we have one, right, in RCOE? So we want to bring the translator certificate to our program through our own Career Technical Education. RUSD also has a very, very strong and robust CTE program. And so adding the translator certificate program to our CTE is not going to be very difficult, especially because we are working very closely with our COE. I've already started the conversations with the coordinator of our CTE program, and he assured me that this is something we can do in our USD. So instead of going outside and paying outside venues to bring this program, I want to have this program as our program, as an RUSD program, because as you can see, DLI is not going away. It's not going anywhere. And our 12th graders next year will be the very first group to attain the certificate. But right after them, we have many more groups to come and many more years of this program. So why not have our own program, right? So that's my goal. My goal is to make sure that by the end of this school year, RUSD has their own translator certificate through our CTE program for our DLI students. Any questions?
Yes, we have a question about the certificate. Will the students be tested in 12th grade so they can receive their certificate?
Yes, the program, it's a course that they will take throughout the year. It will require homework. It will have some assessments so that we can monitor their progress and make sure that if they need extra support, we give them the extra support. It's just like a regular class, you know, a reading class, writing class, a science class, where we give them assessments throughout the semester to make sure that they're making the right progress. And at the end, they will be required to take a final examination to make sure that they have earned the certificate.
Any other questions about the certificate? I know there was a question about the dual language tutoring. Are parents able to do tutoring or just high school students?
Unfortunately, this is a high school program to give our high school community service opportunities. So it's a high school program. But that's a good idea. Parent, I don't know which parent asked that question. Do you mind emailing me so that we can have a conversation about that?
I just placed our email addresses in the chat for parents.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you, Patricia. Okay, if no other questions about the certificate.
Yes, there's one more question.
Okay.
If the students are eligible to receive, so are the students eligible to receive their certificate if they pass or don't pass the course, even though they're in the program?
They have to pass the course. It's just like any other coursework that they have to pass to get the credit. They have to pass the course to get the translator certificate. I don't foresee our students not passing. Our students have really done a beautiful job learning both languages and mastering both languages. And you know, just like they pass our coursework in high school right now, this is just another course that they will have to work hard at and pass at the end of the year. But so parents, I know we had not been giving a lot of information about our translator certificate. One, I was fairly new. This is my 3rd year, and I had to do a lot of learning really quick about our DLI program. And two, there's just a lot of work that we have to do behind the scenes to make sure that the conversation opened and to make sure that this program was going to happen, and we can and we realize this program for our DLI. Now that we have good information to share with you, we are going to continue sharing, and we will keep you updated on the progress of making sure that this program becomes an RUSD program. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
I think the parent that was asking about the test for the certification, she wanted to, I think, re-ask the question. So if, are the students eligible to participate in the translator certificate as part of the dual language immersion program?
Yes. All of our DLI students are eligible to participate in the translator certificate program. all of our DLI students.
Mhm.
Esther,
Hopefully I've asked the proper question.
Yes, thank you.
from a parent perspective, is there any way that, or do you need support from the parents to push that certification through the CTE? Do we need to like put our hand up somewhere, or just, letting you know that we are interested and that we want this for our children in our district?
Yes.
Is enough.
Yeah, Jackie, our CTE has been very, very positive about bringing this program to our USD through their program. So they've been working they started already, the ball rolling, to be honest. They've already identified a teacher that can possibly be our teacher next year. They already started, I talked to them, this is how quickly they work. I started the conversation with them about maybe mid-September, and they already have a pilot going on at Lincoln High School to make sure that the program is going to work and to work out through any kind of challenges that we are going to face so that we don't face them next year. They already started a pilot. That's how serious they are about bringing the translator certificate. So parents, if I need you, I promise you I will let you know. But for now, the attaining the translator certificate through our own CTE has been very positive. They actually love the idea of adding a translator certificate to their program.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But Jackie, I will call you right away if they say like, no, we can't do this.
You let us know, Esther.
Yes,
We
I
got
will.
your back.
Yeah, because I want this to be an RUSD program.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
There are no other questions on the chat about the translator certificate.
Thank you. Then Ashley, we are ready to move on to the next topic.
Yes, and we would like to introduce a local teacher, a Poly High School teacher, Miss Letty Hilton, and she's here to speak to us about a trip to Spain that she has been organizing. And Letty, if you'd like to unmute, it is all yours.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. As Ashley mentioned, I am a teacher at Poly. I've actually been working really closely with the U.S. history team with History Day for the Spanish dual immersion group. So any high schoolers at Poly hating life right now with History Day, I'm helping out Mr. Batista and History Day, but I've been doing some travel for quite a few years. I have 3 kids in DLI, and I also do the travel program with EF Tours. And I have been given the opportunity to present the Spain trip that is planned for spring break 2023. And so basically what it is, first I need to make sure that I mention that it is not an RUSD sponsored program. This is just something that I do aside from, I guess, a lot of other things to give students opportunities for travel. And so I am currently planning a Spain trip. My daughter is most likely going. She's in 8th grade. We planned a trip to Costa Rica a couple years ago, but of course, with everything going on, it ended up getting canceled. And so since she's a little bit older, I figured Spain would be the more appropriate place to practice the Spanish in that she's learned all these years. So I'm really excited about it. I hope to plan and keep these opportunities going for several years to come. Being again that I'm on Poly's campus, I teach there. I have an opportunity to reach a lot of kids. So, and then of course you guys as well. So as of right now, I'm introducing it to 8th grade and up, mainly just because if you can't really have elementary kids kind of intertwined with high school kids. It just, it doesn't really work so well, but there is possible opportunity for a different type of a trip where we can kind of separate the groups possibly. But anyway, so we can kind of look at that down the road. But for now, the one that's planned is 2023. So we can go to the next slide. If you guys don't mind, oh, one more back. There you go. Perfect. If you are interested and have some questions for me, I don't want to take up a ton of time. So if you want to just take your phone and put it over the QR code or take a picture of they call it a tiny URL. And you can just put your information in there and I can answer any questions later. But if you, again, just take a moment to scan that, and we can, again, answer questions on that as later on as we go along. So I just maybe should give you a couple seconds to do that. I can come back to it maybe, but that's the tinyurl.com, bam, Hilton. So there we go. All right, so just real quick, just an introduction, which I already did, our itinerary, what's included, travel partners, safety, and price, and how to enroll. So that's what we're going to talk about for the next couple of minutes. So I already introduced who I was. I've been teaching at Poly for several years. I've been to these places. I did a Holocaust tour. I've been to Paris. I've been to Greece. I've actually been to Paris 2 times. And so I'm very well experienced in travel with students. And so that's kind of, again, another reason why I think this opportunity is going to be great, because I have done this before with students, and it's, again, I see the difference in them when they come back and the amazing opportunity. I don't call it the first in a lifetime or once in a lifetime. I call it a first in a lifetime, because I hope that this sparks travel just in general for students to learn and grow. Okay. So just a few photos of where I've been with students. Again, we don't need to really spend a ton of time on that. Just a couple of cute photos with my kids and all the places I've been. So just throwing those pictures out there. You can keep going. That was my Holocaust. That was really tough, but it was an amazing experience. All right, so what are we going to do? So we're going to Spain and Madrid and Barcelona. So keep going, next slide. So these are going to be some of the places that we will go to. So La Sagrada Familia and Gaudi's world famous masterpiece. He's a famous architect in Spain and has some amazing places to view and check out. The Spanish royal family residence. So that's going to be quite an interesting place to see. I've never been, so it's going to be a first for me as well. So it's going to be exciting for me too. Also food, of course, we always want to experience new kinds of food. And that's one thing that we'll definitely get to do. They also incorporate with the food, different ways to experience, the culture. And that's, of course, very important and part of how we learn. And they also do, some things, burgers and stuff sometimes at some places, just because we sometimes don't want to feel, like we're homesick, so some days will be not so authentic. But it's still important to try new things. Okay. So our tour is going to be 8 days, and it is planned for spring break 2023. So again, if you want to take a photo of this slide, it kind of just gives you a time period of where we're going to go. Basically, the way that this works is we don't have exact dates until we get closer. And because it's spring break, it will be like we will leave like that Thursday, Friday usually, or the Saturday. And come back possibly, the Tuesday, Wednesday, depending, hopefully not, just because we don't like to take too many days off. But anyway, so the 8-day tour is in that range, but it should be within that week that we're going. It allows for flexibility for EF tours to create the better pricing for the program. Meaning that if we're going in big groups, so they put the groups together to make it more affordable for everyone. So they have to work with other groups, and that's how they keep the prices down really low. So we'll have final dates around the 2 to 3 month mark prior to. And again, sometimes we're combined with other schools. So that's actually kind of fun too, because we meet new people from around the country, as well as being able to go outside of the country and travel and experience that as well. Okay, next slide. All right, so what's included? So I kind of incorporate this, or I explain this in a like an all-inclusive type of a program, because you really don't have to worry about too much while you're on tour. Everything is included with the round trip, airfare, hotels, regional meals for breakfast and dinner, tour director 24/7. So from the moment we get off the airplane in Spain, we will be with someone 24/7. And that's helpful because I don't actually speak Spanish. And a lot of the places that I've been, and Germany and so on, it's obviously helpful because you need someone to help you, navigate, right? So this includes a 24/7 tour director. It also includes transportation on tour. The tour director is also there for other safety factors. So if a kid loses their passport, they help us get to where we need to get a copy or whatever. Like they are all part of the whole process and help out with getting that handled. It also includes transportation. So again, from the moment we get off the plane all the way to our hotel, all the places that we go, always a very comfortable motor coach, not, like a school bus or anything. And we have local guides that will also be there. They tour with us. Sightseeing, guided sightseeing with those expert local guides. All the entrances to anywhere that we go, it's included in the price as well. So we don't have to worry about like going and sitting in a ticket line and, everyone buying tickets. Everything's included. The tour guide actually goes and takes care of that for us ahead of time. So again, meals are planned. The only thing that is not included is lunchtime. So a lot of times we'll give like free time for a little bit to do, to have lunch, and then maybe do some, touristy shopping stuff. And then we all come back together. Their main priority is safety. And so we're, 24/7, and they also have offices all over Europe. In case there is any problem. EF is a huge company, and they've been in business for 50 years. And with my experience, they've been very helpful. Thankfully, I've not had any serious major issues to have to need them, but they are there 24/7 if we need anything. So that to me is definitely peace of mind for sure. Okay, next one. So again, here what you're responsible for, passports, baggage fees, and then we do also tip local tour guides, bus drivers, and tour directors, which I usually collect ahead of time, mainly because, again, the hustle and bustle of getting off and on tours and off and on buses, like I usually pay the tour guides and bus drivers as we go along throughout the day. So I collect that ahead of time. But it's about $8 to $10 per day on tour, and then snacks again and your meals for the daytime, lunchtime, and baggage fees, which we, again, usually Europe trips are, they don't, overseas, you don't pay baggage fees, but there could be, depending on if we stop in New York first or something like that. Okay, next slide. And then again, I kind of already mentioned about why I partner with EF, again, being that they have local offices and support throughout all the places that we're going. And they've just been a great support and a great program, especially through this whole COVID thing. It's been really frustrating to have to tell, kids that they aren't going to be able to go on their trip, and they offer vouchers and all kinds of awesome opportunities to, move around their trips if in case it is a situation where they have to move things around. All right, so again, safety partner, I kind of already talked a little bit about this. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry, I'm going too fast. I just didn't want to take up too much time. So again, part of the safety issue, again, that's with anyone, right? If you're traveling across, the country or into Europe, safety is very, very important. And of course, if you're sending your kiddo with me, you know, obviously you want to know about who I am and the process and the company that we're going with. So again, there's that local support, again, 365 days a year, 50 countries. EF has local knowledge to keep our groups safe. I mean, again, that to me, that tour guide is priceless, because again, if there is ever an issue, they're there for us. Again, they have an incident response team that again is again very important, because again, they can help us with anything. So like, again, from a sprained ankle to a lost passport, they will continue to be there for us to deal with it. And then of course, health standards, sorry, you can go back one. Health standards, again, making sure that we're going to be in places that are clean and safe. You know, I've not been to one place or hotel that I felt unsafe. They're all great places to be, and clean too, which of course is very important. And again, tour director 24/7. All right. Oh, one more, very good. Okay, and they also have different programs for high school credit, which is actually, or well, mostly college credit is where the kids will be. It's kind of funny because like, it's like, oh, high school credit, but you have to travel on 10 trips to get one class worth. So I don't really promote like the high school credit because it's a little bit harder to do. So it's like trying to go on multiple trips like every year is not like, you know, feasible for most people. So the college credit is a really awesome opportunity because you could earn 3 college credits, and they partner with a college that is accredited, so that you would basically do like a project with EF, and you'd submit it through their program, and you pay, which would be fraction of what it would cost, like if you were going to, like, I don't know, UCR or any very expensive college. I want to say it's between the $500 and $800 range for the 3 credits, again, which is very minimal in comparison to a course if you're taking at, you know, a UC. So it's an opportunity for adding credit for college. They do a essay help, which is really great for when you're applying for colleges. So that essay help is awesome because they're looking for, all colleges are looking for what they call the, EF Tour calls the uncommon application, and they help with providing assistance for essays. So that's, again, another opportunity that EF, or another great addition to being a part of EF. Okay. All right. So we also have what's called a Book with Confidence program, where, again, we could, it's a peace of mind. So it provides flexibility for the trip with, again, a lot of unknowns throughout, you know, the whole COVID life that we're living. And so whether it be a risk-free enrollment period, a global travel protection, which is included in the price, you can add an additional $295 global travel protection, which gives additional insurance. It's basically just travel insurance. And they have different kind of tiers as to what types of protection are needed. If you want that, in case, let's say, again, there's a situation that arises and you can't go on the trip, they have different policies and opportunities for cancellation up to 24 hours for this one, global travel to departure. So that's an opportunity. That's another thing that they offer for, in case, again, something happens and you can't go. All right, so again, so there's a couple really cool things. There's a donation page, which is really nice. So instead of saying, hey, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, whatever, can you provide $20 or whatever towards my trip, and here's $20. And then we go and take that money and like go to a movie. A lot of times we do that. So they actually have an opportunity where you can send your account link to friends and family to help support you with the trip. And so there's a donation page that's included in this as well. And again, they also offer like different scholarships that you can apply for through EF. And so that's just another opportunity for helping out with paying for the trip. And so once you sign up, then we can talk more about how we can help. I can help you with the scholarships and the donation page. It's basically a link, and you just send it to your friends. You send the emails, and it's really nice because with Christmas coming up or birthdays or whatever, and I actually even have template letters that you can send to families and friends that talks about the program and how they can help support you. Okay. All right. So this is the total cost of the trip. So it's $3,200, and as of until the 12th, they're offering a $200 discount. So this is the total price of $3,200. And adults is $38. So if there are adults that want to go, they charge a little bit more because they do 2 per room instead of 3 per room for kids. And so that's why it costs a little bit more. So if you want to do a monthly based on the full price, which will be like a couple dollars less if it's, full price is at $34, then it would cost $208 until we leave 2023. So again, if it's bi-weekly, you can kind of set up with EF however you want to. So if you want it to come out of a debit card or whatever, bi-weekly, it's $104. If you want it to come out monthly, it's $208. If you pay in full tonight, it's $32.05. But after the 11/12, it's $34.05. And they have you can go back one more page, sorry. With a payment flexible plan, if there's a certain time period throughout the month that you want them to take it out, then you can work with EF after your first payment. And then tonight, just to hold your spot, we can go to the next page now. There's a $95 deposit. So we have a guaranteed of 5 more spots. It's just, I would need to get more chaperones to confirm more places, but that number is flexible. So I'm not really worried about the 5 spots. Again, so the deadline to enroll on the $200 discount is the 12th. So again, you don't have to pay in full, you just enroll with a $95 deposit. All right, so again, with another little QR code, if you're interested, again, you can scan the QR code and you can add or you can just do the eftours.com and then the /24863. If you want to, I don't know if you can maybe get off of the presentation and then copy it and then paste it into the chat. I don't know if that might be easier so that people can just link it from there. But it's up to you on if, again, parents want to, they don't have to enroll now, but you can, it would be great, but if you want to open up the link later or save the link, you can do it that way too. Are there any quick questions? And if not, then you can, again, go back to the question link from the first couple slides. If anyone has any questions, they can go back. But I don't know about the time and what's happening with the time. Thank you, Patricia. If there are any questions, I can answer now, but I don't want to take up more time.
Thank you, Letty, for presenting to all of us. I think what we can do is we'll be sharing this slideshow on our Somos Google site.
Perfect.
And all of these slides will show up there. So if anyone does
Awesome.
have questions, they can find the information there to contact you.
Very good. And then just a side note, if you have little kiddos that are in, elementary, this is something that I plan to offer for, DLI students. Anybody can go. It doesn't have to be a DLI, but it's just a program that, we have set up for because it is a Spain trip, right? So we want our kids to practice. So I might plan in the year following a Costa Rica. So, if your kids are little and, they're like, I want to go, but, it's kind of geared for a little bit older group.
That's
Thanks
good
so
to know.
much.
2024.
Yeah, I know it feels like so far away, but it's probably just around the corner. But thank you again so much for the opportunity. You guys have an awesome night. Thank you.
Thank you, Letty.
Thank you, Ms. Hilton. Okay, Esther, will you move on to the next slide, please? Which we've already seen Miss Miriam Zarate. And thank you so much. Thank you, by the way, Miriam, for doing double duty tonight and translating for us on the other channel. And I saw your messages there about going too quickly, so I'll try to slow down my speech as I keep talking here. Okay, next up we have Maravillas, your child's elementary language arts program, and Mrs. Patricia Thetford to speak to us.
I know that before I get started, it is already 6 o'clock. So I'm going to let Mrs. Peak decide if we need to move on. I need at least 10 minutes on this presentation. I don't want to rush through this for parents. I think the information in here is very valuable. So I will leave that up to you if you want to continue or you want to maybe present this at another meeting.
I think that's a great idea because after this slide, we still have more. I have something else I was going to share on library resources, which I think after an hour, maybe we should cut it short here and short of our agenda to make sure that we give it enough time and space for the next meeting. Does anybody have a problem with that? That might have a question about things we didn't cover. Feel free to unmute and say your question, or better yet, throw it in the chat.
I'd appreciate the Maravilla section right now.
So I appreciate that, Eloise. It sounds like something that I would love to hear about as well. It's something our kids are working with daily. I'm thinking that because our administrators here from our district have other meetings they also have to attend, if we keep them too long, we'll keep them from their other sessions. We typically try to keep our Somos meetings to an hour, and sometimes we just have too many good things to share and there's too much conversation that happens, which isn't a bad thing. That's why we're here together, to have these talks and to ask the questions and share the information. And it's kind of a good thing that we've run over our time. But if everyone's okay with it, I think we're going to push off. Jackie and Allison, Esther, would you all agree that maybe we take Patricia's suggestion and move to their next session?
Yeah, we're fine with whatever the board decides, and the parents too, if they're in agreement, we can move this to the January meeting. It's a great presentation.
You guys, the funny thing is, the time we're spending deciding this could be presenting it.
Sure, I understand you. I hear you, LB. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the nods of agreement from Jackie that I'm seeing, who's part of our board, our vice president, and we're going to push off to our next session. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we can always get back to you at another time. Esther, if you wouldn't mind jumping to the final slides there, where we'd show our next meeting session.
Yes,
and of course,
library resources. So I will stop sharing so that Ms. P can share.
Oh, I think we'll probably, if we're skipping the Maravillas, we'll skip the library resources as well. Okay. And we'll push those off to the next session.
Then let me,
because I think again, I'll also need about 10 minutes to go through what I had to share. So I don't want to take up too much of your time this evening. You both being administrators, I know we have several teachers here tonight, including Letty, who was just speaking with us, who worked a full day, and now here they are with us in their evening. And we need to let everyone get on with their afternoons, their evenings as planned.
No worries about us. This is part of my job, is to serve my parents. So yeah, so if we're going to skip the library information, then we can just give parents just a small reminder that our DLI application is currently open, and in 1 week we almost have 200 applicants already. So parents, don't miss out on the opportunity to apply for our DLI program if you have not, or if you are already part of our DLI program, but you have a kindergartner coming in. The application is currently open and it will close on December 10th at the end of our business day, 4:30. We do have a second opportunity. If you miss out on the first application, we do have a second window that opens January 24th, 2020. Sorry, this should be say 22. I don't think I want this year to end because it's gone just way too fast. And it closes on September 9th, 2022. You can apply at riversideunified.org/forward-DLI. Any questions? Okay. And Ashley, if you would like to remind them of the upcoming dates.
Yes, I'll
Esther,
actually
can
hand
I-
it off to Jackie to go ahead and read these slides. And I think Allison was just popping in with a question. So Jackie, as soon as
Yeah.
she's finished.
Sorry, I know we're trying to wrap it up, but there was a question. It's written in Spanish, so if you could answer both, but I translated it. Now that the registration window has opened, I live outside the district. Do I have to do this step? I was aware that it only fills up when they switch schools from Washington to Gage. I'm guessing the question is about the registration window for not just new students, but continuing students. If you could clarify that a little bit.
Yes, this application is for new students only, for incoming kindergarten students for the next fall, for fall of 2022. The transitioning from elementary to middle school and middle school to high school will come in December. We are getting the information ready. We will post it on the website, and we will send announcements to parents to complete the intent. It is called the intent to continue in DLI application coming in December.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
I think we
Jackie.
can go ahead. I think that is.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you, Allison.
Thank you, Allison. So here's just a list of the future dates that we have planned. January 11th, that's 2022, February 8th, 2022, March 8th, 2022, April 12th, 2022, and May 10th. And just, this is always the second Tuesday of the month.
So parents, don't forget to mark your calendars. Now is the time for you to mark your calendars so that you don't miss these great meetings. As you can see, great information is presented. And our next meeting will be January 11th, right after our New Year's. Ashley, it's all yours again.
Thank you. Will you go to the last slide, please? Okay, so sorry for some of the confusion tonight. We moved our slide deck around to accommodate someone who is actually helping us out with translation. We thank you to everyone that was here with us this evening to present, and apologize for any information being missed at this meeting. It will of course be covered in the next session, so please come back. It makes us excited that we have so many things to talk about that we would need to push things to another meeting. Though it was not our plan, it was not the intention. So our 2021-22 meeting dates will be the second Tuesday of every month. Just as Jackie has said, I'm Ashley Peak. I'm the Somos DLI president. My email address is here should you need to contact me. Esther Garcia is our DLI coordinator who's been working with this program for the last 3 years and is incredible. Her email address is also here should you want to contact her directly. If you want to send a general comment or question, you can use this Somos DLI Gmail account here. We also have a new Google site for Somos DLI, which we post all of our past recordings, including this one, and the slide deck from tonight. So yes, that will be on there, but we will still have Miss Thetford share that with us in our January meeting. Last but not least, we do have an RUSD Somos DLI Facebook page where we post updates, different activities in the community, and flyers, of course, for our upcoming meetings. So lots of different ways to contact us, and you're welcome to use any one of them. And I thank Jackie and Allison and Esther and Patricia for all of your hard work in making these meetings happen. And we appreciate all of you joining us tonight. Thank you so much.
We have a couple of questions from the chat that we didn't respond to that I would like to ask if we still have a few minutes for those parents who would like to stay. One of the questions is, my question may be answered. What is the class size for first grade? I was under the impression that first grade was usually a smaller class size. My son's DLI first grade class has 29. Will tutors be supporting those schools where the classrooms are overcrowded before others?
Yes. Per state law, we can have a first grade class up to 32 students in any given program. It's 32 students. We make a great effort to have our kindergarten, first grade, and second grade at 25, but sometimes it is not possible. I know 29 seems like a lot of students, and it is a lot of students, but it is a great, to me, it's great that we have so many parents who want to be enrolled in DLI. And when it comes to extra support and tutoring, that is a site-based decision. I do not provide tutors for our classes that have extra students.
Here's another question. Reading intervention was cut at Fremont. Is there something that like tutoring that can be provided for both English and Spanish for DLI?
I will have to have a conversation with the principal. I was not aware that reading comprehension intervention was cut from Fremont. So let me have a conversation with the principal, and then we will definitely get back to you. We also have a DB who has been raising her or his hand for quite a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, that was me. I had the question about the class size and the tutoring, because my son is a student at Fremont. I'm a teacher with the district, and it just seems like 29 kids is a lot. I understand the enthusiasm and the excitement of having a lot of students in a program, but he's struggling because obviously he's in first grade. So he's trying to read and he's building his fluency and vocabulary, but I can see that the teacher, it's hard for her. And she's like the only one that does a first grade DLI there. And I just feel bad for them because I'm a teacher and I can't even imagine trying to wrangle 29 first graders and trying to teach them a foreign language at the same time. So I just thought I'd ask if they were going to at least get priority tutoring, because now they cut that other program and they are impacted. So I just thought I'd ask to see if maybe we can get tutors there, because,
Right. Yeah, and I completely understand.
Most other parents that when I signed up for the program, they told me, oh yeah, my kids' class sizes are small, like 25, 22. It's like, oh, that sounds great. And then, last year he had 30 virtually, and then now it's 29. I was just asking. I just thought I'd voice my concern.
Yeah. And I completely understand. And to be honest, when our classes were that small, especially at Fremont and newer schools, is because recruitment can be a challenge sometimes. And especially when we open up a new site for DLI, you have to make sure that the community becomes aware of our program. Well, the community is very much aware of our program now. And believe it or not, even though we have 29 and it is, it seems like it is a lot of students, the wait list at Fremont for students who were not accepted is pretty long. So I know it seems like a lot of students, but we have many more students that did not make it to the program. And if they don't make it by first grade, they just don't get accepted into our program at all. So it's very sad to see that. Like I said, I will definitely have a conversation with Mr. Cash so that he can give me a little bit more information about the programs that he had and doesn't have anymore, and to see what kind of support we can perhaps give him this school year. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention, because sometimes we really, we're not aware of what's going on in our sites. We try to be very, very involved with them, but if they don't, if we don't get that information, we just don't know what's going on.
Thank you for answering my question. I appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
There are no more questions in the chat.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Ashley, thank you so much for everything and for running such a great meeting. We appreciate you and the board, Allison and Jackie. Thank you for everything. So if there are no more questions, Jackie, you might want to close the meeting.
Esther, Bianca Corrales. I have a question really quick. I tried sharing the flyer with one of my students' teachers, and she said she couldn't share it with parents because I shared it with her, and she said that it would have to come from the district for them to be able to share with other parents. Although my son's teacher, I shared it with them, and they were able to share it with other parents. So I don't know what you guys would need to do to get more parents, because I know there's a lot of parents that are always asking questions. So I try to share it as much as possible on our Jefferson DLI page or Jefferson PTA page, and on my own personal page and on Instagram with parents that I have on there. But I try to share with teachers, and they're like, "Oh, we can't share it because you shared it with us, so it has to be from the district." And I'm like, "Okay." I don't know if you guys could do something about that.
Yes, we do share, anything that is going out to the parents, but we will make sure, I will make sure that that every single teacher is included, that we don't miss a single teacher. And we will communicate with the principals so that the principals can encourage our teachers to share this kind of information with all of our students. But we try our best. We share it with the sites. We send it out as an email. We make an auto dial call.
Yeah, we got that. I got the robocall last week.
Okay. Yes. And one of the things we can add is we can add a reminder the day before. We can send another phone call. We try to be as cautious as possible with phone calls because we know that parents sometimes we get a lot of complaints.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah, we do that. We do get a lot of complaints about phone calls. So we try to be as careful as we can. But if you think that a reminder will help them, we will be more than happy to send a reminder.
I think a reminder the day before would be great. I try to remind everybody today on all the DLI websites on Facebook that I belong to help out Ashley as far as trying to spread the word, because I know some people are on Somos but are not on the other DLI page, or on the DL or on their school DLI page but are not on Somos. So I try to spread the word as much as possible. But I just want to let you know what some of the teachers had told me as far as why they couldn't share. So
no, I appreciate you telling me that so that we can make sure that we clear it with them, because any flyer that a parent receives has already been authorized by the district office. So yes, we do have to make sure that all of our flyers, pass that authorization. So we don't send out flyers that are not authorized to be sent. So if you have it in your hands, that means that it's been approved.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. No, thank you for being so proactive. And thank you for being proactive and making sure that other parents know about our meeting.
Thank you,
You're
Bianca.
welcome.
I really appreciate your help.
Oh, you're very welcome. Oh, and I have a book sale this weekend. If anybody needs Spanish books, I put the flyer on the Somos DLI page as well as the other DLI pages. If you guys want to attend or come and take a look, I have thousands and thousands of books.
Thank you for sharing. That is on our website, and Bianca Corrales is our resident book connoisseur. I think we could call you that.
Where,
She's
where
always on
is,
the books.
one of the parents is asking, where is the sale going to be located?
Her
You're
address is on the
muted,
flyer.
Bianca.
Oh,
It's on the, on the Somos
Sorry.
web page?
yeah, on the
Yes,
Somos Facebook. Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
her flyer
Yes.
is there with her address.
The two cross streets are Van Buren and Magnolia. Near the, if you guys know where Ventique Alley is, I'm on that street.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Bianca. Well, thank you everyone for attending tonight. Esther, Patricia, Jackie, and Allison, if you have just a second to stay behind, that would be
Yes.
great to touch base. And thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you to our interpreter too. I know she
Oh,
just.
yes. Darn. I missed that.
Thank you, Miriam.
Saying thank you to her. Okay, still a few more on.
If they're like
And,
me, they started doing other things and left their Zoom open.
They could have.
Then I'll come back and I'm like, oh, it's still on there. I'm the last
Oh,
one.
wait. I hope I made the right call pausing your presentation, Patricia. I didn't mean to push you.
No, I think and that's why I mentioned it, only because I didn't want to rush through it and it would have prolonged even your information. Because I know you had that library section too. So if you wanted to present that, I would have rather you do that than me having to rush through it. I know that on the chat, one of the suggestions was, can I record it so they don't have to wait 2 months for them to receive it? I can do that. I can do a Loom for it and record it, because I think the information is very informative and it would help the parents instead of them waiting till January to receive it. It's something that they can have. And then maybe at our next meeting, say if there are any questions about Maravillas, and maybe we can answer some questions in regards to that. But I can go through the presentation and actually present it. And then maybe you could put it on your website, on the Google site, plus on your Somos Facebook, if that's